I used to ask the young Jesuits who were in formation, on a scale of 1:10, how much would you rate your love for Jesus? And I would always draw them to say 10 out of 10. But God knows everything. Peter said to him, "You know everything. You know that I love you." But we also have our ego, which kind of comes on the way of our loving totally Him because of whom we are. So we sometimes get internally confused. We say we do, but there are other things that can distract us. But in order that we may be steadfast in our loving God with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our strength, with all that we are, we need to practice. If you don't practice, it won't come. And especially when it is needed. All of us are specialized in our field, but we have to keep practicing it. Fabiola is playing for us the organ and singing. She's doing this constantly, and so she gets better and better each time. So also all of us. When we do that which we have to do, we can become best in it. And what is that one thing? That is loving God with our complete full strength. And if we do, the benefits are great. First and foremost, you will see and experience that Jesus is alive. We are saying that He is resurrected, but we are not very convinced about it because we don't have this experience all the time. Yes, we say, but not really. Look at Paul. He is going to die because he's condemned because of this belief that Jesus is alive. He no longer lived the old way based on scriptures. Yes, but here is Jesus who has come to us and in whom we can have the way directed properly. Yesterday we heard it. So today, let us spend time, not only today, but every day, because this is the only day of our life. Night, 5 minutes before we go to bed, surrender everything, your thoughts, your feelings, your behavioral patterns. Surrender them to Him. And if you do that, you will be free. Why are you simply carrying all this burden, baggage, persons, everything? We are not going to take anything with us. So surrender it. You be free. And as St. Ignatius tells us, make use of everything that God has given us insofar as it helps us to the end for which we are created, to know God, to praise and revere Him, and to serve. To serve, we don't have to do. God Himself in us is doing all the work. So we need to cooperate with Him. Once we get this clarity, then we will live it throughout the day. And when you wake up in the morning, remain united to Him so that your direction will be guided by His Spirit. Because you have given yourself to Him. He is all the time doing what He has to do through us and guides us. So you will see that you will have a wonderful life, ready to commit yourself and to bear witness to Jesus without, as Saint Peter, he says, I will not, even if these all go away, I will stand by you. But in the last moment, he could not. He needs to practice it. When he practices being in love with Jesus all the time, then he will be able to lay down his life for Him. And that is what each one of us can do, because when we lay down our life with Jesus, we pick it up as soon as we die. We are with Him. Let us pray for this grace. And today we celebrate the feast of Philip Neri, who is the patron saint of our Archbishop. In short, came from a wealthy family from Florence, but he at 26 wanted to give himself to spiritual life. So he came to Rome and he studied philosophy and theology. But while he was doing this, he would regularly make the pilgrimage to the 7 churches. in Rome. It's about 12 kilometers. We also have a special gift that is given to us in long years ago in doing the 12 altars here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Yeah, it is like this. So 7 here, it is said. So he was doing this regularly, and with him came afterwards, and when he did this, in the nights he would spend time in the catacombs of St. Sebastian. And there he found a lot of these urchins, like boys who had no parents, who were just there, and with them he started winning them over. He was under the direction of his confessor, Persiano. He became a priest, and when he was given the church, he simply transformed it because he sat in the confessional and people in the thousands came to him of all kinds, and he became excellent. Then some of these youngsters whom he would accompany in the church above, afternoons he would spend time explaining to them scriptures, the history of the church, the saints. They began to like it and they began to follow him. So that is how he started the Oratorians, and they were also in Goa. Cruz dos Milagres is an Oratorian monastery which was started there, and that is how it still continues today with spiritual activity. So this man, he died, and when he was he was able to be made a saint because of his contribution. He's called the second apostle of Rome. My dear sisters and brothers, all of us are called by Jesus to belong to him completely, and we do. So let us offer him ourselves, place our hands in our lap, keep our eyes closed, and just be present to his presence within us. Let us allow him to increase and we to decrease.